Hello everyone, welcome back to my review channel, and today I'm doing one of my horror classic reviews. And the last movie, when I picked it out, let me see. So this week it's going to be Horror Express. The Horror Express, 1972, starring Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. We all should know Peter Cushing. He's the guy who played... Oh man, he was in Star Wars. So, there you go. We also know who that is. Basically, this is a movie about a monster on a train. I'm talking about, this is all before Snakes on a Plane. This is now 1972, Monster on a Train. Creature on a Train. So it starts off 1906, China, like a expedition, anthropology, digging up fossils. They find something that looks like a face, and they try to ship it back. Let me see. This is Professor Saxton wants to get on the train with this huge crate, which is basically fossil, basically this creature that he found. You don't know it's a creature. This whole movie was just weird when it doesn't explain a lot of, like, through the scenes. It doesn't explain through the scenery or the scenes what's going on or what they found or what anything looks like. Even, like, this... I've seen movies from, like, the 60s that had, like, better lighting than this movie. Yeah, it's supposed to be a horror, but when you can't see what the hell is supposed to be seen on screen, there's no point. And that was, like, a few times that was happening through this movie. So you try to, let me see. Yeah, he's trying to get his crate of fossils on the train. There's this, in the very beginning, a thief tries to steal this crate of fossils for whatever reason. And he dies because of whatever's in the crate. But anyways, he's blind now, and he gets killed by something in the crate. And he's just blinded and killed. Let me see. The guy's found dead next to the crate. There's this Father Pajordov. I don't know. Some Russian name. He makes a scene about how evil the crate is. He breaks out a piece of chalk, and he's like, a cross can be anywhere but a place of evil, and he, like, marks a cross on the ground. It's fine. He tries to mark a cross on the box crate, and nothing shows up. So it's like, oh my god. Professor Saxton and the crate finally get on board the train with Dr. Wells. He's played by, Dr. Wells is Peter Cushing, and Professor Saxton is Christopher Lee. Now, they get like a little, they've already introduced these guys at the very beginning of the film, so you know there's going to be the two main characters. Then there's this woman. They get to their train car, their booth, and there's this woman that tries to be like a stowaway. She says she's a countess, but she doesn't have a ticket. That was stupid in the very beginning. I swear to God, she said she was a countess, but she doesn't have a ticket. And I was just like, dude, what? No one's going to believe you. But anyways, they do, and they just let her ride along. And let me see. Yeah. It's basically a stowaway. I'm trying to read these notes. I just got done watching this film. I'm just not interested. Like, this movie. There was just so many parts to it. It was just dull and boring. The monster was just not really there or interesting. There was just parts that could be good core, but it was just not there. It's typical bad 1972 film. And, I'm surprised I have that cast. Okay. Saxton is in the baggage room. No. Dr. Wells. Sorry. Dr. Wells is in the baggage room and asks the baggage man to drill a hole in the crate to see what's in there. And then he leaves and walks away. Later on, the baggage man comes back with the drill, tries to poke it. He sees something again, 1970, bad lighting. Don't know what it is. He doesn't see anything. I don't know. He either sees something and we can't tell, or there's nothing there and we can't tell. Either way, couldn't tell. And then, let me see, walks away. And then, like, when the baggage man walks away after, like, seeing something or nothing, and a hand comes out, like a monster hand, monster arm comes out, like, grasping for the chains, and, like, basically opens the crate himself, unhinges the doors, just with his fingers. Again, I don't know about all that. It was just like, what am I watching? The baggage man comes back. The thing in the crate kills / blinds the baggage man and gets out. Now, there were so many people in this story. I just didn't know. I got confused about who's who. Because it didn't, like, come off and say, this guy's the baggage man, this guy's the inspector, this guy's the captain, this guy is this guy, this guy's... It doesn't really come out and say that. So I had to, like, guess throughout this whole film, like, who's who. Until it got to a point where, like, I know who this guy is. Okay, so now there's the police inspector on this train who cannot find the baggage man. He looks... For some reason, he calls in Dr. Wells. Dr. Wells. He's a doctor. And Professor Saxton, for some reason, just to ask them if they knew anything about it, like they would. Anyways, they're just there for the reason because something climactic's about to happen with this crate. Anyways, let's get to that. The police inspector is like, one guy's dead, one guy's missing. I want to know what's in this crate. Saxton's like, no. He breaks out the key and throws it out the window. The inspector calls the guy to get an axe to open the lock, which this is a big-ass lock. An axe wouldn't do it. He'd have better luck breaking over a lock. No, he'd have better luck breaking over the crate itself than these chains and lock. But he gets it done anyway. I mean, it's an axe. What can't you do with an axe back in the 60s and 70s? But, no, I'm sorry. This is like 1902. So, let's not forget, this is like 1902, not like the 60s or 70s. Anyway, using an axe to break open the lock. And it just opens up. I love that. They open up the latch, we see like a small door where the head would be, and he opens it up to see the baggage man dead, blinded. They're like, oh my god, we have a dead man in here. Professor Saxton goes on to explain that the fossil that they brought home is like a 2 million year old fossil that's half ape, half man. That tells me it's more of a mummy than a fossil. And why has he still, for a professor, I don't see how he can still be calling it a fossil when this is a fully grown man mummy that they're working with. Here, yeah, it might not be wrapped up. It's still like a caveman, but still, the body parts are still there. It's not a fossil. I don't think you could consider it a fossil. Maybe you could. I just don't think so. Anyways, the inspector doesn't want to alarm the passengers, so he just says, search for him, but don't alarm the passengers. He doesn't want to make a fuss. Now, the monster kills one guard. Inspector asks Dr. Wells at the dinner table, in front of, like, people. He asks Dr. Wells to, like, for his help on, like, another death of what's happened. And then, like, the two people at the table, one of them asks, like, someone's died. He's like, you didn't hear nothing. I'm like, dude, you're asking help from this guy who's sitting at the dinner table with two other people. And what the hell are you expecting not to overhear you talking about, oh, we have a couple of deaths here, the creature's out. And they're like, what are you talking about? You didn't hear nothing. And it's just like, dude, that is silly. At least direct the guy to get the fuck up off the table and step away 2 feet. 3 feet. I mean, come on. It was dumb to even, because they're not whispering, they're not trying to whisper. They're talking. They're just talking to each other. It's stupid. It's stuff like this. They're just like, what are you doing with this movie? So Dr. Wells does an autopsy on the dead guard. Somehow, 1902. They're trying to play it like 1902. If they could get away with this, I don't think you could even in 1902. But apparently, they're going to play it off like you can. Just does an autopsy on the train on this guard who's blinded, and they find that the brain has like no wrinkles or welts in it that you would show the retain that you have memory and stuff, that you actually had life, and none of it's there. So basically, they have a theory that the creature's taking the memories. But why does he have no memories and like no eyes? He's just wide-eyed. So let me see. Does an autopsy, goes back to his room after like a shower. The countess that's in the room, stowaway, is like needs to go to the bathroom. For some reason, she's trying to go to the safe, but she gets killed by the creature instead. And you find out that this countess was actually a spy. This again, where is this plot coming from? They just throw plot lines in here, and it's just like, it has nothing really to do with the story at all. It's just more confusing than anything. Let me see. So, they find the Countess was a spy, and the theory that comes that the creature takes knowledge from others. Inspector Saxton, Wells, and others are in a train car with the father from the beginning of the movie. The father drove it off. Then went kind of crazy. They're all in the same room with a real count and a countess, his daughter, who is also on the train with these guys. They're all in the same room, and Inspector tells all about the spy and the dead, and the spy and the being dead by the creature. Why he does this, again, he asks everybody to keep everybody calm, but again, he does something stupid and just announces to everybody in the train car, this is what's going on. I don't know about, again, by the time this movie, I was so it was just, I don't care. I was like, whatever, let's just get through this. Saxton and Wells examines the creature's eye fluid. Wait. Inspector, let me see. Okay, I definitely skipped something in here. Okay, let me just get right back to that. So, let me see. They're all in the room. The inspector tells that she was a spy. Now she's dead by the creature. Tells everybody in this room. The father has a little fit about like the creature being evil. Basically, wanting you to believe that the creature is actually the devil himself. While this is happening, let me see. No. Right before this, when they killed the first girl, the countess, the fake countess, the spy, Dr. Wells comes in and wonders why she hasn't seen her in a while, like it's been too long. He walks in there, and the creature tries to grab him and kill him, but he's saved by the inspector, who walks in shooting the creature. And now he's shooting the creature. They believe the creature's dead. And now, after this, they're in the train car. They tell the count and countess, like, she's a spy. And the creature's dead. Again, shouldn't have been told. And so now, Professor Saxton and Dr. Wells is doing an autopsy on the creature. They take, like, the eye fluid. Again, it could be a good gore part, but it was such a bad fake eye that when they tried to poke the needle through the eye to get the eye wouldn't poke through. So whatever that thin layer of plastic was that needed to be poked through, it didn't. It just pushed all the gooey stuff out the side. It was such a terrible part. It wasn't even good. I thought it wasn't even good gore. It was just funny looking to see that a fucking needle couldn't even pierce through an eye and try to make it like that. It was just pushing all the gooey stuff out the side of the eye. Anyway, they get the eye fluid and they look at it through. They look at it and they can see the last images that the creature has saw. And basically, it was a dude like about to shoot him. the inspector. That was his last sight. That was the last thing he saw. They take fluid from another eye, and they see, like, dinosaurs. So he's looking off 2 different eyes. Now, one eye looks in the past, one eye looks in the present. Where's a third eye? Looks in the future. So, the creature has somehow switched bodies from the creature itself to now the police inspector. Again, it doesn't really explain to you how this... It doesn't explain to you how it happened. That's not even the big deal. It doesn't even show the audience that this is what happened. The audience has to come up with it themselves. It should have been let you know, like, this is what happened, but no. In some obscure way, it just lets you figure it out on your own. The father Pedrov steals the eye from the creature's eye that they were like testing and inspecting themselves. They steal the eye. He runs away to hide, but while they're searching for the father in this room, the police inspector finds Miss Jones, which is Dr. Wells' assistant, and Inspector kills her in front of the father, and he goes on to believe that this is like he's the devil and stuff. Now the whole train the whole train of people know about the killings, and they don't know what's going on. Inspector kills engineer on the train, who has also seen what was in his eye. The father guy, priest guy, he tries to play the servant to the devil. Train abruptly stops at a Russian train station. Captain Kazan with troops steps on board the train, trying to find who's causing all this or the killer. Dr. Saxton slowly goes off to the switch to the train, the lights, turns them off. The eyes to police inspector glow red. He turns the lights back on, and Kazan throws a knife to his back. And he Inspector kind of just wobbles off to like a area of the train where it's just a little hallway. He thinks he got him, but the father monk guy, he like runs to the creature inspector. He's like, "Come into me now. Come into me. You're stronger." So then he switches bodies from the inspector to the monk, and the monk just goes on a killing spree through the fucking train with the troops. Basically, it's the funniest thing if he could have done this to begin with. He just goes up to each troop in the dark, turns up all the lights, and like the lights are all off. He goes up to each troop and each individual guy. Oh my god, I don't even know. In the Russian troops. Goes up to each individual, just looks at him in the eye with his red eyes, and they all die. And individually, just goes up to him, and they're all dead. It's just like, okay, he did that just like 8 to 10 times. Then the father monk / creature guy goes to the train car with the count and the countess, turns off the light and kills the count, and he's about to kill the countess when Dr. Saxton shows up wielding a rifle or shotgun. Goes on to say, the creature goes on to tell him that he's just an organism that's just needed a host to live since the beginning of like this Earth's creation. And the creature tries to kill him, but what he does is bring up all the dead that he's just killed like zombies. So now, Dr. Saxton and the Countess has to run through the train cars being chased by zombies. But they get to a safe point, which is the last caboose in train car filled with Dr. Wells and everybody else that was in the trains. So they're all safely in the caboose in the back train. They send a telegram to the next train station to switch train tracks, which would basically take them all off the cliff. Dr. Saxton and Professor Saxon and Dr. Wells, they unhinge the back train car. They unlock it. So the whole train with the creature monk guys in, they unlatch the train car, so they slow down. The rest of the train goes off the cliff, and it gets burned alive or whatever. So it just shows the train being burned, and that's it. The caboose slows down to the very edge of the cliff, but stops. They're able to look down to the fiery blaze below, and that's how the movie ends. There you go. Not a great film. I don't know. I'm done with that. It just wasn't great. The shots that they made, it was such a bad movie. I don't even know what they were trying to do with the script. Obviously, the script just needed to have too many holes, and they had to write a bunch of crap in. But anyways, I don't even think... honestly, only reason you want to probably watch this movie for a silly, bad, crappy movie that involved like a couple of good actors. That's all this movie really was. The parts where you see hash, where it's like the inspector / creature, or the monk / creature, or whatever, when it's like half creature, half the other guy, yeah, he always, the creature / person, I don't know how to explain this. He had one arm that was regular personal, and then his other arm was a creature arm. So whenever he was about to kill somebody, he'd take out his other arm and be like, "Oh, I'm the creature." And I was just like, this is stupid. That's silly, man. That's just silly. But anyways, it is what it is. There you go. Horror Express, 1972. Yeah. Good times. Let's just see what's going to be next. It's going to be next on the agenda of the bad movies. Horror classic movies. What's it going to be? Sure, I just got one. Okay. This could be fun. This could be fun. There you go. It's a 1966 film. Thank you guys. I appreciate your time. Appreciate you watching. Hope you got some information from this, if you're wondering about it. But I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for your time, and thank you for watching.